Assalamu alaikum students. We will discuss about in week 9 online study session the remaining part of the chapter the transmission of heat. As you know, we will discuss about the transfer of heat, conduction, good conductors and bad conductors, why metals are better conductors than non-metals, and the last one is applications of conduction of heat. Now, the next topic is convection. The transfer of heat in which molecules of a medium actually move to the source of heat energy to absorb heat and then moves away from it is called convection. For example, take a beaker and put some pieces of paper in it. Fill half of the beaker and water. Heat the beaker by a spirit lamp. We shall see that the pieces of paper rises to the top of water, move sideways and sink to the bottom. The water in the beaker also gets warm. The molecules of water absorb heat energy from the bottom of the beaker and rise to the top. Other surrounding molecules of water come to the bottom to absorb heat energy. So we can say this mode of transfer of heat in which molecules of medium actually move to the source of the heat and then move away is called convection. Convection occurs in liquids and gases only because their molecules can move freely. The molecules of a solid are held closely together, they cannot move freely. Therefore, convection is not possible in solids. And the upward and downward movement of molecules of water or air is called convection current. We can observe the use of convection current in our surrounding. The first one is convection and gliding flight of birds. The heat of the sun heats up the surface of the earth and air near it also gets hot. The air expands and gets lighter, so it rises up and cool air from the neighboring regions move into fill its space. The rising warm air reaches upper colder layers of the air and cools down. Cool heavy air sinks to the earth in cold regions to blow again to take the place of the rising air. Thus convection current are set up. Convection current takes place in atmosphere. The heat from the sun warms the air near the ground. The warm air expands and becomes lighter in weight. As warm air rises, cold air rushes in to fill its place near the ground. This process continues. The birds like eagles, vultures, hawks take advantage of this phenomena. They enjoy gliding. During gliding flight, a bird does not move its wings but glides on air currents. A lot of energy of birds is saved during gliding. Convection also observed in household ventilation. Household ventilation can make our house cool. The air which we breathe out is warmer and lighter. It moves up in the air to go out of the ventilators near the top side of the walls. The fresh and cool air enters the room through windows and doors. Now the next topic is radiation. This mode of heat transfer from a hot body to a cold body directly without heating the space in between the two bodies is called radiation. For example, when we sit in the sun or in front of a heater, we feel warm. Heat energy reaches us by radiation. This heat cannot reach us by conduction because air is a bad conductor of heat. Similarly, this heat cannot reach us by convection. As the hot air rises upward and rather than sideways, if we put a cardboard or a plastic sheet between us and the source of heat, we no longer feel warm. So we can say that the heat from the sun or a heater reaches us by radiation, and radiation requires no medium. There are some applications of radiation of heat. Every object emits or radiates. some amount of heat. Knowledge of radiation can help us in many ways. For example, when we sit beside a fire, the heat of fire reaches us by radiation. Cooling fins at the back of our refrigerator need to radiate its heat quickly to the surroundings. Its surface is made rough and painted black. During hot summer days, it is advised to wear white or light colored clothes. White color absorbs less heat than dark colors. And the radiation also used in greenhouse effect. In cold areas, greenhouse is used for better growth of plants. Radiation from the sun passes through the glass or plastic and warm up the soil and plants. The plants and soil absorb and emit radiation and increase the growth temperature in the greenhouse. Plants grow well in increased temperature of the greenhouse. Vacuum flask. Vacuum flask is a container which can keep hot things hot and cold things cold. Vacuum flask use these three modes of heat of transfer: conduction, convection and radiation. Vacuum flask is actually two thin glass or metal bottles, one inside the other. Air between the glass walls is removed to create vacuum. Vacuum prevents the transfer of heat by conduction and convection. The walls of both bottles are coated with aluminum on the vacuum slide. These silver and smooth glass walls prevent the transfer of heat by radiation. The lid of flask is made from a bad conductor such as cork or plastic. Only a little amount of heat is lost by conduction through a lid. The lid-walled glass bottle is protected by fixing it in a metal or a plastic container. The labeling of the vacuum flask is plastic bottle. There are two glass bottles, the outer glass bottle and the inner glass bottle. In these glass bottles there is a vacuum surface and the shiny surface are also present, and the last one is plastic cover. So there are some questions related to these topics. The first one is how convection current used in household ventilation. What is the advantage of gliding flight for a bird? Write a few applications of radiation of heat and write a note on vacuum flask. Thank you.